All right, here we go. Teammates got a drone in there, and it's a fire element, so it's perfect. We got the water, triple crit damage. Here we go. Easy. This build is crazy. We've got assault ammo recovery, increasing how many bullets we can fire before the mag runs out. We've got first assault and chaos agent, guaranteeing that it will crit when we throw a frag grenade. And we've got mag size in the Nocturno, plus a triple crit damage and tactical assault sledgehammer. So we have a 680% crit damage and a guaranteed chance that the boom would crit. Was that 30 million damage? So what you just saw was turned into a short on my channel, so if you've seen that before, I'm sorry for the deja vu. That is a follow-up clip to what I have learned since this video right here on screen. The basic idea, the science behind this, is that you can crit guaranteed with First Shot Rio, and Chaos Agent allows you to reload with abilities like Frag Grenade, Shockwave, or technically Minigun if you wanted to do that. And the bug at stake here is that the explosion from the Nocturno boom can crit. It can do way more damage than it's supposed to. Instead of doing 65% of the damage dealt of the bullets into the enemy, it multiplies that 65% by your crit bonus, which in this build is 680%. That's insane. Yes, it is. You can sit down a smasher in like 15 bullets or less. It's nuts. And I've learned from that video. That video, I didn't showcase any booms more than like 7 million damage, although I knew it was possible. This is a clip from Physio Ninja in our server showing me basically the exact same thing from a long time ago. It's awesome. You do so much damage to that mini boss. And AS407 did something similar. It's hard to tell despite this perfect quality, but this is a 373 power level mini boss from, I believe, Horde mode. And he did something extra where he prepped it with the Instigator bow so it took extra damage, but still, 2 magazines later and this massive mini boss was completely dead. Thank you to these guys for sending me these clips. It really goes to show just how strong this loadout is. So let's explain what exactly is the same and different. So obviously we got Sledgehammer in the lead. We want to crit as hard as possible. Obviously we have Totally Rocking Out because the damage you do to the target is still going to be factored into that final explosion, because the explosion, reminder, is taking 65% of your damage dealt and then critting it by 7.8 times, which is nuts. So Subwafers to crit whenever we want to consistently. That'll be because we have to activate Totally Rocking Out somehow. And this is where things get interesting. Instead of using a 17% damage bonus from Rescue Trooper Ramirez, I'm using Stars and Stripes Jonesy, because the more bullets we can put into that activated reload, crit explosion, whatever, the better. So having more mag is actually better than more damage here. Then Chaos Agent, of course, because we need to be reloading with an ability because of the offset. Throwing the ability queues up a reload and a guaranteed chance to crit, and then the boom happens, so it happens with certainty. And then, of course, it happens with certainty because of First Shot Rio, giving us a 100% crit chance, or as you saw in that short, maybe a 117% crit chance, because one of my teammates is running boom base, which I'm all for. So the Nocturno we're using in question is water, because we're in a fire zone, triple crit damage, because, you know, critting harder is the name of the game here, and mag size, like I said, more bullets is actually better than more damage. A reload perk is better for normal day-to-day play. In fact, my normal Nocturno is usually like this: reload triple crit or reload crit rating double crit damage is a more balanced build, but we're going for big damage here. So yeah, mag size, triple crit damage in a fire zone. Let's try this build again. All right, so we're starting off the recording with an encampment. This isn't a build that's necessarily made for crowd clearing, because honestly, stacking up big damage on a single target is pretty much what we're doing. But if we hit a bunch of enemies all at once and then, you know, shockwave, everything just kind of dies. And of course, it is still a Nocturno, so it's going to do plenty of damage without any help whatsoever. In fact, here, if we just take one of our 24 wafers, you'll see we're going to start critting super hard with triple crit damage as the nurses go ahead and leg around the map. But yeah, it doesn't really need the help. The big booms are for the big targets. So I'm going to clean up this encampment and find one of those. All right, but I still can't help myself. You just aim at the baby enemies and everything just kind of dies. It's so satisfying. All right, so I'm not going to be recording in the 160s much, and I'll show you why. Because if I just eat wafers, and then that's pretty... That's all it takes. For those who don't know, that was 5.7 million damage, and a normal 250 smasher has about 5.8 million health. So there's really not much point including much gameplay from the 160s. And since Inferno just gifted 20 subs in chat, I'm gonna go say thank you to him, and then let's just cue the defense. All right, the defense begins. So, kind of funny, on the stream, there was a hype train kicking off, which delayed my recording because I wanted to pay attention to everybody who was supporting the stream. I'm recording this on my birthday, which is probably a bad thing to mention because my videos don't always go out on time. And then you might not be seeing this soon. But regardless, lots of people supporting the stream today. And due to that, the game became nighttime, and I didn't want to record when it was super dark, so we just waited out an entire day-night cycle. You probably saw on the timer down here, the time jump. Just waited an entire day-night cycle just to get back to this, but you can casually see, look at this damage. My teammates know I'm showing this off. That's all it takes to kill a Smasher. That said 8.2 million, and that number can sometimes combine damage to multiple targets and inflate itself, but I believe 8.2 million. So this is with damage drop-off and a lazy frag grenade, 8.6 million damage. That's it. I shot that enemy like 4 times, 2.6. That's how insane this build is. That's how insane it is. I wanted to show you guys this because I wanted to use like Ramirez or something and get more damage, but it's not even necessary. And that Mist monster dying slowly in the back is exactly what I'm talking about. So it activates the explosion on such a delay that you can reload with Chaos Agent. I don't have any abilities right now, but you can reload with Chaos Agent. Oh, does that not activate? Maybe the minigun doesn't count. Maybe I was wrong in mentioning that. Whatever. You can activate the reload with Chaos Agent and then it explodes. So you queue up a guaranteed crit like this, and then it activates the explosion on enough of a delay that you guarantee that explosion. So, on the other note, this is also still a triple crit damage Nocturno build. So all I have to do is pop a wafer, shoot a Smasher, wait until it's kind of like low health, because normally, if the explosion doesn't crit, which it shouldn't, considering I got like a 10% crit chance, although, I should say, I know there's a lot of information being thrown at you guys, but the explosion is only guaranteed with First Shot Rio. So because I have Toy Rockin' Out active, the explosion can still crit under normal circumstances. So you can see when I eat the wafer with the boom base going on, I've got a 66.5% chance to crit. That's decaying over time because it's Toy Rockin' Out, but not by much. So you can see if I just reload normally, it can still do a lot of damage. I don't think that one crit, but perhaps we can demonstrate on this enemy over here. Like, the explosions sometimes can still do a lot of damage. It's just, okay, well, triple crit damage hits hard. It's just a lot more consistent with First Shot Rio. So you can see a half health Smasher did do, it looked like about 65% of the damage dealt. Now, what I keep trying to say from that is, look at that damage. What I keep trying to say from that is, let me get a healing pad on the ground. These are quite cheap nowadays, and I should use them more. And you should too. So there you go. What I'm trying to say is that normally when you're using the Nocturno, you should stop when the enemy is maybe like 1/3 health remaining. You see he was a little above that. That's when you can just stop and reload. Like this enemy right here, well, he died, but would have been dead at the third of health mark because you can just reload normally and activate it. Now, I was given the blue glow, but I went down. So if Dylan wants to queue up this next round, we can hop straight in. All right, next wave begins. Now, I explained that poorly and it took me like 3 tries, but let's demonstrate one more time on an enemy that doesn't have a shielder maybe. So maybe we can get the shielder low health. All right, well, this is too many enemies. So another thing you could do with the Nocturno on a separate note is shoot at the baby targets, because when an enemy explodes, or when an enemy dies, they explode, and that can kill the other enemies around it, which can activate Battle Beat really quick, and then Toy Rockin' Out is effectively infinite at that point. Super satisfying way to get the ball rolling, really, really good, because this build being demonstrated to you guys in today's video is featured on that big multi-million damage explosion that can one-shot a mini-boss. That is awesome, but it's far from the only thing this build can do. That's exactly what I was trying to show earlier, by the way. When an enemy is at a 1/3 health with a Nocturno, it's technically dead already. You know, you could just stop and reload, which in the past has made me not want to use the Nocturno as much, because it's kind of annoying to have to just stop shooting all the time. But when you can guarantee so much damage with a frag grenade, it's really, really good. All right, what do we get? What do we get? Nature mini boss. Okay, I think I still have a fire. It's saved. Okay, so I don't have the Meg size perk, but I do have a fire Nocturno, which is good enough. Triple crit damage. Let's see what we can queue up with 1 Meg. Now, I do have assault ammo recovery, but did it not work? Did I screw that up? That's okay. You still got about 75% health. Let's get 1 full Meg in. 31.6 million damage. 31.6 million. And it probably would have been more if I hadn't screwed it up on the first try. Maybe not, though, because I still got a full Meg in regardless, but that was a full reload Meg. This Meg size perk right here gives me 75% more ammo, which is a lot. That would have been 75% more damage. That explosion could have been a lot more. And I also do have teammates like, I think Golden Peely, it was mentioned in chat, I do believe Golden Peely is running Warcry. So I wanted to mention that because thank you for the teammate support. These guys know I'm making a video and they want it to look as cool as possible. Thank you. But I don't want you as the viewer to be like, hey, mine can't do as much as yours. Well, we're in a very stacked lobby, very high level power level, very high level players, very high power level. We've got Boom Base, which is upping our damage just normally. In fact, that's going to be a guaranteed, 175%. So if I shoot away the bonus from First Shot Rio, you can see my normal crit chance is 27.5. Normally it would be 10. So because of the crit rating perk that you get from the Boom Base team perk, I'm doing more damage, more chance to crit, and the Warcry just gave me more damage, certainly. So I can imagine with a, Banshee Warcry lead, or ideally Major Oswald Warcry lead, plus Boom Base, plus maybe somebody doing Ear Splitter, plus a full magazine of as many crits as you can straight to the head, you could probably work pretty hard and get a 50 or 60 million damage crit. You can see lazily I'm getting 6.9, nice, 6.9 million damage just lazily. Like, I'm not even queuing up. That was 5.7 million, which was more than enough to finish off that smasher. And yeah, finish off a smasher. I hardly know. Okay, hold on. All right, so that's just easy. But if you work hard for it, add a Warcry and a bunch of stuff that's not even necessary, you can do so much more damage than what I'm demonstrating. And it made up for a funny point when I was doing this on stream before recording. I wasn't going to record today. Like I said, I'm interrupting a birthday stream because I was just having too much fun with this. But it made up a funny point where I realized, look at that damage, where I realized that smashers, 250 power level smashers, were not strong enough for this build to like play with. I needed mini bosses or bust. Mini bosses were like the only enemy in the game that could enjoy enough damage dealt for this to even look like it needed to work hard. But even then, you just shoot a full mag into a mini boss, throw a frag grenade or shockwave, and then it dies in one hit. So anyway, absolutely insane build and a super short video just to demonstrate that this loadout is a lot stronger than I used to think it was. Like, I knew it was good. I knew you could, in theory, one meg a mini boss, but now I understand the fundamentals of this build. I've gotten a lot of personal practice using it. I hope that showed in today's recording, and with the games that I was enjoying prior to this recording here, it's so good. It's such a strong build, and if you have a Nocturno, that's great. If you don't, and you made it this far in the video and you're all right, well, we actually have a crafting channel in our Discord. I don't advertise it a lot because I don't think about it that often, but if you have the correct materials for Nocturno and you politely find somebody who's willing to craft you one, you can just drop them. Like, I don't know, 110 Sunbeam and 300 parts or whatever it takes, plus the quartz and power cells, and they'll just give you like 10 copies, I'm sure. A lot of people in our community are really generous and they're happy to do that. It's not trading. It's not buying. We do not facilitate real world money or anything like that. But if you give the materials necessary to craft it, people in our community are willing to set that up for you. Whether or not they'll reperk it for you, I don't know. Hopefully they're rich, but that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to show off this really strong build. That's it. I'm out of here. If you're not done eating yet, couple of videos at the end. Keep going with your binge. If this is like the 4th or 5th video you've watched today, maybe consider subscribing. Like the video either way, and I'm out of here. Goodbye. And then